So allow record, okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So let's get started, guys. So this is our session today, in which we will see the GitHub flow that is recommended by Microverse for us. So let me go to GitHub. Okay. So first of all, to have this practice, I'm gonna go to my repositories and then create a new repository. That is the flow that is actually recommended. So I'm gonna click the new button here, which will take me to the new repository page. You already know that. So we can, by the way, we can use templates, repository templates from here, but for now, we're not gonna use any templates. No templates is used. So we have to select the owner. Obviously, that would be me. Repository name. Let's give it a name. Guys, would you like to suggest a name that we can use?
Contact.
Maybe GitHub Flow.
Okay.
GitHub Flow test. Repo. Okay, fine. So that is allowed, and I'm gonna make it public. Add a README file. I can check it from here, and then just click on the create repository. So the flow starts with creating a new repository. And whenever we create a new repository, or in our professional life, we start working on a repository, that is always recommended that we create a new branch to start working on that branch. So on the flow, the first thing is creating a repository, or if the repository is already created, then the first step will be the step that I'm going to show you right now for us, if the repository is already created. Since we don't have any repository already provided to us, so our first step was creating the repository. And we are on the main branch now. Now we are gonna clone this repository to our local machine. So let's go to our local machine. So I have opened my VS Code here. So let me open a new folder first. I'm opening a new window. I'm taking a new window, and then from this window, I'm gonna open a new folder. You can open any folder you like to your convenience. So let me put it git test. So I'm gonna use this folder. Okay, I trust that. Okay, so I'm on this git test folder, right? So I'm gonna open the terminal here, or we could have just manually opened the terminal as well. It's kind of the same thing. Let me show that as well. So we have to get, okay, microverse, and then git test. We could have just open git bash here. So opening git bash on this folder, it's you can see. Let me make it a little bigger. You can see that, right? We are on the microverse git test folder.
Yeah, we can see.
So, right. So if we I open VS Code, you can also see I'm on the same directory, git test. So right now, as a convention, I will first check git status. So obviously it will not be a git repository because I just created the folder. So, but it is always good. It is a best practice to check whenever you start working on a folder. Always, it's a good practice to check the status first, if it is a git repository or not. So it is not a git repository. It is just a folder that I created now. And now I'm gonna clone my project, the repository that I created, this one. I'm gonna clone this repository. This will be the second step in the flow. We have to clone this repository. We can use SSH. I'm gonna just use HTTPS here because it kind of feels easier to me. So let me do that. So I Yeah. Please go ahead with if you have any questions, Mr. Collins, right?
Yeah, but you just view it on the VStudio. Was it not cloned? So how come were you able to view it on the VStudio?
VS Code? No, I can't able to see that in VS Code. I just created a folder in my local repository. Yeah, right. This folder has nothing. Let me clear this. This folder has nothing to do with our repository yet, right? It's just a random folder in my local PC. Now I'm gonna clone the repository on GitHub into this folder in my local PC. I haven't done it yet. The two has no connection yet, but I will make the connection now. Okay, so how I'm gonna make the connection? I initialized, not initialized, just check that if git is initialized, not initialized. Now I'm gonna clone on this folder. Just clone on this folder, right? So this is the folder git test. I already opened git bash here. Now what I can do to link the two, like the repository, this repository here. So this is a folder in my local PC, and this is the repository that I just created, right? You can see GitHub Flow test repo. These two has nothing, no connection yet, but I will make the connection. How to make the connection? This is the second step in our GitHub Flow. I will clone this. To clone that, I have to copy the link, HTTPS link of the repository that is on GitHub. And then I'll come back to my folder on my local machine. And then I git bash here. I will open git bash window here. You can see that we also can use the command prompt. We can use the PowerShell, any command line interface that you want to use, as long as it works. Okay. So what I will do, I'll check again git status. So it says fatal, not a git repository. Okay, fine, no problem. Now the command to clone a repository from GitHub to our local machine is git clone, right? And then I have to put the address that I copied. So now I'm pasting it. You can see github.com, then my username, Parag-M06, then the name of the repository, GitHub Flow test repo.git, git, right? We can do the same thing in VS Code, because in VS Code, I also opened the folder, git test, and then I opened a terminal on this folder, git test. So basically, these are the same things, but I'm going to do it manually right here. So git, then clone, and then the address. Now I'm going to hit enter, and it will clone my GitHub repository to my local PC on the folder that I chose. So far, so good, guys?
Yeah.
Well, what the difference between HTTPS and SSH?
So SSH is it's called the secure shell. So it provides a key that actually verifies you as the legit user of this repository. It's like a password thing.
Okay.
And I used link. Yeah, please go ahead.
I use SSHs, and I use GitHub Desktop. So I'm not using
that is
bash.
right. But you can use it, because I am more comfortable with this, because the command line tools are faster, because it directly interacts with your PC, right? Operating system. Whenever you use a new GUI, which is a visual implementation of the same thing, it adds a new layer to the commands. Like first you visually see that, and then you press buttons, and then the command actually goes. So I just do the, how should I put it? Like use the commands. That's all.
To be
more
honest,
likely.
The SSH, I've never been successful with it. Like you said, it's very so I stick to this.
Yeah, right. So it's more secure. It's certainly more secure. But however, I don't, I find HTTPS easy. So that's how I do it.
So what I'm trying to, what I want to clear is either of the two are okay.
Sorry, I didn't get your question. Can you please repeat that?
The HTTPS and the SSH, either one you use, they are okay. They can work the same.
They're totally okay as long as you use the proper username and password, right? So the first time I used, like for example, my PC, I have a fresh Windows installed in my PC, and then I installed Git on my PC, and then I, logged into my GitHub account and then created a repository for the first time. And for if I'm cloning my repository for the first time, it will be cloned, and then I'll be able to work on that repository. But when I will be trying to push the changes that I made in my local machine to GitHub, then I will have to, set my username, email, and password through my Git in my PC, and then the authentication actually happens, and then I'm able to do the push and pull things later, because the authentication is already done. Okay, so let's go ahead. So this is the second step, cloning. So for the first step was creating a repository. The second step was cloning that repository to your local PC. So my repository is already here, which is GitHub Flow test repo, right? Now,
Yes.
if I get back to VS Code, you can already see that there is a new folder, right, under Git test. But now if I check Git status, what will happen? This is a common mistake the newbies actually do. They actually try to use Git. Yeah, right. But you are not on your repository, so you will not be able to use the Git commands. You are on the folder that you copied your repository to, right? So first we have to change directory. We have to get into our project folder, which is this one, Git Flow test repo. So right now what I have to do, I'm going to clear the screen. So you can see I'm on Git test, and there is a command. Let me put that pwd, present working directory, pwd, present, P for present, W for working, and D for directory, present working directory, pwd. If you write pwd and hit enter, it will give you the path you are in. So you can see, right, the path. I'm on Git test folder, which is under microverse folder, which is under the D folder or the memory section of my PC. So, and there is another command is ls. ls lists all the subdirectories in your current directory. So whenever I put ls, I can see I have a folder, GitHub Flow, and there is nothing else, right? So now my task would be go to the folder GitHub Flow test repo. So I'm going to do that. And for that, I'm going to use the command cd. cd means change directory. C for change, D for directory. So cd, and then I write the first letter, git, or maybe 2-3 letters, and then press tab. If there are no similar named folder in that directory, it will automatically take the whole name if you press tab now. So I'm going to press tab now, and you can see that, right? It took the whole name of the folder. So I didn't have to manually write the whole name. Now I'm going to hit enter, and you can see now I'm on the inside that folder. If I check Git status now, it will give me back something, because Git is already initialized to that folder. So you can see now the Git commands are working, and it says I'm on branch main, and your branch is up to date with origin. Origin means GitHub.
Okay.
So I'm on branch main, and my main branch is up to date with the branch that is on GitHub. So there is nothing to commit. That letter line says there is nothing to commit, and working tree is clean. So hope that is making sense. Yeah. So our second step is done. We created a new repository. That was the first step, and then we cloned that repository to our local machine. That was the second step, and now we are on our into that repository that we downloaded. Now we can start working from here. The third step will be, let me clear my screen real quick. We should never ever start working or start making changes on the main branch. The main branch should always be left alone. This is the this is the most ideal, like as ideal as it can get convention. We should never ever start making our changes on the main branch. So what we should do for the third step, we should create a new branch to start working on, so this will be the third step on the GitHub Flow. So now we will create a new branch. So to create a new branch, we can use two commands basically. We can use like git branch, branch, and then put the name of the branch. Then it will create the branch, but we will still be on the main branch. Then we will have to manually move to the branch that we created. So I'm going to do that first, and then next we're going to see the two commands combined so that we create a branch and automatically check out to that branch as well. So let me create a new branch. So first feature branch, branch. And one thing I would like to mention here, whenever we are creating a new branch, the branch name should be as specific as we can make it. Like the purpose of the branch that we are working, that we are going to work, what are we going to use this branch for? So that the name should reflect the changes that we are going to make on that branch. The name should be meaningful, the branch name, right? So that's another best practice which is recommended by Microverse. Okay, fine. So I'm going to create the branch.
Okay,
the branch is created, and I'm going to check it by simply typing git branch. So it shows me that I have two branches. First feature branch, I actually misspelled the branch, so it actually took only C. Okay, no problem. It's just a name. And the green is main. So the asterisk sign, you can see the asterisk sign, right?
Yeah.
This is called the head. The head is pointing to the main branch. That means we are on the main branch. We have created the branch, but we are not on that branch. We are on the main branch. So we have to check out to that branch, and then we can start working. So let's check out to that branch. So to do that, we have to write git checkout, and then the branch name that we want to check out into. So again, I can press tab, I guess. No, tab is not working here. First, feature, feature branch, branch. Okay. Yeah. So now you can see it says switch to branch this. Now, if I write the branch again, by the way, whenever we're writing commands, we can use the up and down keys of our keyboard, right? So to have the latest commands that we already used. Yeah. So now I'm going to do that. So now you can see, right? The feature branch is indicating that the head is pointing to the first feature branch. So now we are on that branch. This actually notifies that. Okay, so our third step is complete. We created a new repository. We cloned that repository to our local machine. Then we created a new branch to start working on that branch, and we are on that branch. And now we are ready to make changes. So let's make a change. Before that, let's use the single command that is used for creating a branch and automatically checking into it. So the command is git checkout -b, meaning I'm going to create a branch, which is, let's call it second branch, second, branch, and then hit enter. So you can see, right? It says switch to new branch. That means the second branch is created, and we already switched into that branch. Now, if I check again, like git branch, it will show that we have 3 branches, and right now I am on the second branch. The head is pointing to the second branch now. So hope that is clear.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so now we're going to make changes. Let's delete the second branch. So to delete that, we have to write git. I actually forgot what was the command. I guess let me try that anyways. Git delete or -d, I guess. -d, then branch name. I actually forgot the command to delete the branch. I used that command, so right now I can't remember that. Can you help me out on this, guys? Can you
Let me check
please
here.
search quickly and then find the command?
Okay.
So this will be, you guys are now navigators. So this is the task of navigators, to search and help the driver, who is the coder actually. Have you got it?
It's git branch -- delete, then that branch name. I'm
Okay,
pasting it in the chat.
right, got it. Git branch and then -d and then the name of the branch. So branch
I don't know whether it's delete. Who deletes?
D for delete actually. Let's try that.
Okay.
You and the second -branch. Yeah. So see, it says cannot delete branch, second branch, check out to. That means I'm trying to delete a branch. I'm trying to delete a branch that I'm already onto that branch. So I can't delete something that I'm already into it. So I have to get out from that and then try to delete that. So let me get out. So git check out. So I'm going to check out to the first feature branch. Feature branch. So now I'm on the first feature branch, and maybe now I'll be able to delete it. But there is a catch here. Sometimes if you make some changes on that branch and suddenly you are trying to delete it, it will not let you delete. Then if you want to delete it anyways, you have to use capital D, -capital D. So let's try that. Yeah, so our second branch is deleted because there were no changes that we made on that branch. So it says deleted branch, second branch, right?
Okay.
So that was all about the third step. Now we will make some changes. So let me clear the screen. So what we can do, we only have a README file on our repository, right? So let me create a new file here. Okay, this one, new file, index.html. So new file is created. I'm gonna change the title to home. And I'm gonna take a h1 tag probably and say it this. Okay, I always do that. This